What's up with it, y'all? Before we get into this next video, do me a favor and hit my like button and subscribe to the channel if you're not already a subscriber to the channel. I see a lot of people that be watching the videos, but they don't hit the like button, and I don't understand that. Anytime I go to anybody's video, I'm gonna hit the like button. That's just common courtesy. You feel me? So hit my like button. In this video, we gonna talk about Keith Thurman. You know, we just seen Keith Thurman fight on pay-per-view last weekend, and we gonna talk about it. But what we gonna do is we gonna break down the whole welterweight division on the PBC side. And the reason I say the PBC side is because we know Keith Thurman next fight, they gonna put him on pay-per-view. And with that being said, they doing in-house fights, right? So we could talk about fighters on the zone, we could talk about fighters on Top Rank, but all that shit ain't realistic. They doing an in-house fight. So we gonna break that down, and I'm gonna tell y'all who Keith Thurman is fighting next. So make sure that y'all watch the whole video, because if you don't, you gonna miss the news. Let's chop it up right now first about Keith Thurman and Mario Barrios, and you know, this whole Jerome Boots and this Terrence Crawford thing. Now, before Keith Thurman fought Mario Barrios, I was on record plenty of times, and I said that I feel that Keith Thurman, in order to earn a shot against Errol Spence or Terrence Crawford, right? Because I still give him credit for what he did back in the day. But you can't sit out 3 years and just jump to the top. So what you need to do is you need to show me that you still got it, right? To earn your way back to that top spot that you was at, right? So I said that I felt that he needs to go and look spectacular against Mario Barrios. And I thought that he needs to get the knockout. Yeah, I felt that he needs to knock out Mario Barrios, right? A man that showed you that he has been knocked out before. And so, yeah, you need to go in there, right? Being one-time Keith Thurman that you call yourself, and you do need to get him up out of there, right? So what we did see is we saw, in my eyes, I saw Keith Thurman win every round. I saw Keith Thurman hurt Mario Barrios several times. But I didn't see Keith Thurman having the ability to do what he needed to get the finish every time that he hurt Mario Barrios. He just didn't have that trigger in him, you know, to jump on it, right? That whatever it clicks in you to have that killer instinct, he didn't have that, right? So that was my only big issue with Keith Thurman is, you know, he left food on the plate. He didn't know how to finish his man off. And you feel me? So, and you can't go in there against the best of the best and perform like that if you get one of them hurt. Because it can come back to haunt you later on in the fight. You can't do that. You feel me? And so, he looked cool. Of course, he gonna have holes in his game because he had been in the ring in almost 3 years. And I know people say, oh, well, Floyd Mayweather, you know, he came off a 2-year layoff and he looked great against Juan Manuel Marquez. Or Sugar Ray Leonard, you know, he came off a long layoff and he fought Marvelous Hack. That it's different, okay? You got to understand, focus and mental in boxing is everything. Those guys, they were gym rats. Yeah, they might have been on a 3-year layoff, a 5-year layoff with Sugar Ray Leonard, 2-year layoff or whatever. Even Andre Ward, right? He took a few 2-year layoffs, right? But Andre Ward would come back and he'd have like a tune-up type fight. But Andre Ward, when he came back, he never looked like he left. If y'all was expecting that out of Keith Thurman, y'all expectations was too high for Keith Thurman. Because Keith Thurman, he wasn't a gym rat. He lost his focus. He got married, you know, he was all in Nepal with his wife. And I think that once she came into his life, that she probably wasn't into boxing, probably didn't know nothing about boxing. And he let that shit, you know, get him off of his pivot, right? He's so mesmerized by her, he forgot to go to the boxing gym, right? And people say, well, yeah, he was injured. Yeah, he was injured. But then just like Blue Blood said, you wasn't injured for 2 years and then almost 3 years. No, it was like when you see football players, right? When they get an ACL injury, and I'm talking about the top to top, the ones that's focused. When they get an ACL injury, and you like, damn, he just had an ACL tear, and he came back in 5 months. It's because they have supreme focus, and they put all their focus into training and to getting back to that top spot, right? They in the gym, they rehabbing every day. Keith Thurman, he probably rehabbed for a little bit, but then, he wasn't working in the gym like he was supposed to. He wasn't doing everything that he was supposed to because his focus was on his girlfriend, his fiance, and then his wife, right? His focus wasn't in the boxing ring. That's why when we would see Keith Thurman, he'd be walking around at 190 pounds because he wasn't in the gym, right? Now, it's a difference when you take a 2-3 year layoff, but you're still going in the gym every day. You still staying in shape. That wasn't Keith Thurman. So if y'all had that expectation out of Keith Thurman, that's on y'all. I didn't have that expectation out of Keith Thurman, but I had an expectation out of Keith Thurman to where I felt that he still should have had enough to be able to stop Mario Barrios. And he showed that he still should have had enough to be able to stop Mario Barrios because he had the skills, he had the power, he just didn't have what it took to hit that 5th gear and hop on him and finish him. And so that's my main problem, and like I said, he has certain holes in his game, but he needs to have another fight to fix a lot of that. You feel me? And so this is what I feel about Keith Thurman. I think that he shouldn't fight no Terrence Crawford or Jerron Boots Ennis. He ain't ready for no Errol Spence, right? Because I want to see the best fight the best at their best. And if he get in there with one of them fighters right now after just having one fight with Mario Barrios, it's going to look real ugly. It ain't going to be pretty for Keith Thurman. Now, Keith Thurman, he needs another fight. But he needs a fight that with a big name, somebody that has a name where he could, because they're going to want to put Keith Thurman on pay-per-view, right? We know it's going to be an in-house fight. So he needs to fight somebody that got somewhat of a name that's going to give him, some pushback. A dangerous opponent, but not too dangerous like a Jerron Ennis. So let's go down this list and let's see what we got on the PBC side for Keith Thurman. So we got Jose Benavidez, right? Jose Benavidez, we already know that Terrence Crawford beat him, but Jose Benavidez, he should have lost his last fight and he looked like trash. Jose Benavidez been off a long layoff. I ain't feeling that. We got Andre Berto. Andre Berto ain't fought in years. That's a no-go. We got Eric Bonet. That is a no-go. We got Jamonte Clark. That's a no-go. We got Luis Collazo. He's old and Keith Thurman already beat him. That's a no-go. We got Miguel Cruz. That's a no-go. We got Thomas Delorme. He just got his ass knocked out by Jerron Boots Ennis. That's a no-go. We got Omar Figueroa. Omar, he looked like trash his last fight. That is a no-go. We got Imantis Stanionis. Okay, that's a solid fight. You know what I'm saying? Him and Stanionis, I think that'd be a real good step-up fight for Keith Thurman. But does he got a name big enough for them to put him on pay-per-view with Keith Thurman? I don't think so, right? We also got Sergey Lipinets. He just got knocked out by Jerron Boots Ennis also. So that is a no-go. We got Josecito Lopez. Now, Josecito Lopez and Keith Thurman, they already fought. Keith Thurman already beat Josecito Lopez. So if Keith Thurman goes in his second fight back, right, off of this layoff, and fight Josecito Lopez again, and he beats him again, is that going to tell me anything? No. Because he already beat Josecito Lopez, and I need him to show me something different this time. So, nah, that ain't going to do nothing for me. You got Victor Ortiz. Victor Ortiz is old and pretty much washed up. That is a no-go. Who else we got? We got Jamal James. Now, Jamal James, he's a solid opponent. You know what I'm saying? He's a solid opponent. But Jamal James, he just lost badly, right? He just got beat up badly. And so, like I said, I like Jamal James. He's a solid opponent. But is that a huge step up from Mario Barrios? It's a step up from Mario Barrios, but I want to see something a little bit more than that. And you need a better name to put Keith Thurman on pay-per-view with, right? So I say that's a no-go. Mikey Garcia. You know what I'm saying? Well, you know Mikey Garcia, he do a lot of business with PBC, and he do a lot of business with Al Heyman. So Mikey Garcia, that's a big name for Keith Thurman. But Mikey Garcia, he looked like shit his last fight and got beat by Sandor Martin. But they said Mikey Garcia, he just couldn't get up for Sandor Martin, a name that nobody knew, and he felt like that, and he didn't feel too enthused about it. So can Mikey Garcia and Keith Thurman be a solid competitive fight? And if Keith Thurman beats the hell out of Mikey Garcia, can he show us that he's ready for a Terrence Crawford, Jerron Boots Ennis, or Errol Spence? I don't know. I really don't know. That's a tough one, but I think that is a big fight for pay-per-view. You know what I'm saying? Let me know what y'all think about that one in the comments. Now, we also got, last but not least, we got Danny Garcia. We got Danny Garcia, y'all. Now, Danny Garcia, he a tough fight. We know that Danny Garcia and Keith Thurman, they fought already. Danny Garcia felt that he beat Keith Thurman back in 2017. I don't feel that he beat Keith Thurman back in 2017. I thought that Keith Thurman won clearly, but you heard Keith Thurman say, hey, Danny Garcia hit harder than I ever been hit before. You know what I'm saying? Danny Garcia is the hardest puncher that I ever been in there with. And Danny Garcia, if you let him tell it, he said that Keith Thurman didn't have no elbow injury coming into the fight. He tell you that he injured Keith Thurman's elbow. And Danny Garcia has always wanted that run back with Keith Thurman. Now we got a problem. One problem is Danny Garcia tells you that he ain't going back to 147 pounds. But with Danny Garcia, go back to 147, right? Continue to fight at 147 for a Keith Thurman rematch? I think he would. Oh, he gonna make 147 for a Keith Thurman rematch, because if you ask Danny Garcia, that's a rematch that he wants real bad, and that's a fight that he thinks that he won. So that's the fight, y'all. That is the fight. Danny Garcia versus Keith Thurman. That is the fight. Not Jerron Boots Ennis, he's too dangerous. Not a Terrence Crawford. Terrence Crawford, he ain't even doing business with PBC right now. You know what I'm saying? And they not going to let him sign no one-fight deal on a fight-by-fight basis. If Terrence Crawford want to do any business with PBC, like I told y'all before, he going to have to go sit down with Al Heyman, apologize to Al Heyman, then he's going to have to sign a multi-fight deal with the PBC. And I don't see that happening right now. So, yeah. And like I said, Terrence Crawford is too dangerous. Keith Thurman didn't show me that he earned a Terrence Crawford, a Jerron Boots Ennis, or an Errol Spence fight, because I look at them as the top of the food chain when it just comes to, overall talent in the 147-pound division. Danny Garcia, yeah, that's it. Danny Garcia, he's also had a layoff. We haven't seen Danny Garcia fight since December 5th, 2020. That's the perfect fight. That is the perfect measuring stick for us to know, is Keith Thurman back to the old one time. Perfect fight. It don't get no better than Danny Garcia, right? Make it happen. Danny Garcia versus Keith Thurman, the rematch. Yeah, y'all. Yeah, I said it. Danny Garcia versus Keith Thurman, the rematch. Make it happen this summer. If you could get past Danny Garcia, well, Keith Thurman is back. You get past Danny Garcia, well, you can show us that Keith Thurman is back. Now you deserve a title shot against a Errol Spence, a Yordenis Ugas, or a Terrence Bud Crawford, depending on how he work out this business. Let's make it happen, y'all. Hit my like button, subscribe to my channel, and don't forget to jump in the comment section and let me know what y'all think about Danny Garcia versus Keith Thurman. I appreciate y'all, and y'all already know how I do. There you go, talking that boxing again. And I'm gone.